Hello everyone. So I will continue with Web 2.0 technologies. Um, so we see that Web 2.0 is a technology that has been shifting the web to turn it more into a participatory platform in which people not only consume content but downloading but also contribute and produce new content via uploading. It incorporates new techniques like tagging, blog, wikis, mess ups, etc., which are breaking the barriers between the users and data providers by creating new and useful links among them. Now, this Web 2.0 was conceived from the outset as a dynamic set of innovations that developed in a large part to make the web more viable. Again, after the dot-com bubble burst in 2001, over the years, two defining elements have emerged. First is that Web 2.0 is a platform with applications and files stored in the web rather than on a user's desktop. In this arrangement, software is a service and often a free service rather than a product. The second defining elements of Web 2.0 is participation. The web is now participatory web, the social web, the read-write web. This can be readily seen in Wikipedia, YouTube, Facebook, blogs, various video sharing sites, podcasts, and so on. The idea is that web harnesses collective intelligence and empowers users through the formation of communities and mass publication of user-generated content. In the last decades, web has become one of the widely used means for providing and sharing information. New social sharing networks are transforming the web technology from read-only environment of Web 1.0 to the latest read and write technologies of Web 2.0. Communities no longer use the web to obtain information but create information and share it with another one using Web 2.0 technology. The phrase Web 2.0 was first used in 2004 to refer to what is perceived as a second generation of web-based services, emphasizing online collaboration and sharing. Nowadays, Web 2.0 has changed the way of dealing with internet, especially with certain technologies such as social networking sites, instant messaging, instant and internet telephony, and video sharing sites, and so on. Uh, as with all new tools, the computer and internet Web 2.0 tools are quickly becoming common to adopt a new way for communication and interaction. Earlier in the development phase of websites offered one-way communication from the website owners to the audience. Web 2.0 tool changed this to a dynamic one, making interaction on the web possible, collaboration easier, information sharing, and the creation of web content by a group of people a reality. Some of these Web 2.0 tools I'll be discussing with you. One is Wikis are free open softwares. There is no authorization required for creation of wiki pages, and everyone is authorized to write, edit, and publish it. Hence, wikis are a computer software that allows user to easily create, edit, and link web pages. Unlike blog, wiki generally have a history function which allows previous versions to be examined and a rollback function which restored previous versions. Uh, Wikipedia's popular success has meant that the concept of wiki as a collaborative tool that facilitates the production of a group work is widely understood. Then we have social networking. It is a significant element of Web 2.0, which enables users to establish contacts with people from different parts of the world. We have Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, which help user to establish connection in multiple ways. Social networks are software that supports collaboration, knowledge sharing, interaction, and communication of users from different places who come together with a common interest, common need, or a common goal. They are also known as range of applications that augment group interactions and shared spaces for collaboration, social connection, and aggregates information exchange in a web-based environment. Facebook.com is the most popular social networking site. It is the sixth most trafficked website in the world and number one photo sharing site with over 80 million active users across over 55,000 55,000 regional work, high school, and college networks. Launched in February 2004, Facebook allows users to create personal profiles viewable to all in a given network. Individuals can enter information on their background, on their interest, political views, and group affiliations, as well as on their cultural taste. Additionally, user can enter friendship relationship with other registered users and share photo albums that can be linked to the profiles of those present in the picture. Over 400 million people in the world actively use Facebook. Then we have virtual community. Uh, there are some forums where people discuss topics related to different academic discipline. However, there are some other kinds of virtual communities where people share their hobbies and passion. Social networking sites have made it easier to establish various virtual communities, enhancing interaction among the people on virtual world, especially providing a platform to give feedbacks. And then there is blogging. Blogs are called online diaries, which enable users without requirement of any technical skills to create, publish, and organize their own web pages that contain dated content, entries, comments, discussion in a chronological order. People can publish information which they collect from various resources and establish relations between them from blogs. Additionally, RSS and the possibility to post comments make blogs also a collaborative and social interactive software application. Being an easy and flexible tool, blogs are being utilized in various fields with various purposes. Blogs have various educational advantages like research and other studies. It also enhances writing skills, facilitate reflections, encourage critical thinking with collaborative learning, and provide feedback and active learning. Blogs can also be used as e-portfolios. Then we have multimedia sharing site, video or photo sharing are important aspects of Web 2.0, especially popular sites like YouTube and Flickrs, even Facebook. Some people load their videos, post their videos to share, but plenty of people watch videos without even posting one to website or even creating an account. One of the biggest growth areas that has been among services that facilitate the storage and sharing of multimedia content. So well-known examples are Flickr, that is photo sharing site, audio, that is podcast. So these popular services take the idea of writable web where users are not just consumers but contribute actively to the production of web content and enable it on a massive scale. Literally, millions of people now participate in the sharing and exchange of these forms of media by producing their own podcast, videos, and photos. These developments has only been made possible through the widespread adoption of high quality but relatively low cost digital media technologies such as handheld video cameras. And YouTube, which is another example of multimedia sharing site, was launched in the year 2005 as a video hosting service. It is a most popular website based on user generated content where people can upload and share videos from different genres such as documentary, music, short film, movies, etc. However, YouTube is considered as a social networking site as people can get connected through this website and can give their opinions and feedbacks about the video shared here. So YouTube as a business platform gives immense opportunities for the video bloggers. The entire business depends on the number of viewership that a particular video gets. Using YouTube on a platform for showcasing one's talent to the world, many of the amateur artists have built their careers from different fields. Next is RSS, that is really simple syndication. It makes many things possible and helps various social media to interact with each other. RSS means a Twitter user can update their Twitter feed and have that content also appear on Facebook. So these are syndicated files. The beauty of RSS is that one need not understand the technology of the inherent syndication to use it well. RSS means that we do not need to visit each website to track changes. RSS readers like Google Reader or blog lines will alert when one of our tracked blog or sites have been updated. RSS greatly facilitates almost every Web 2.0 technology. It is an excellent tool for filtering and keeping up with information. RSS feeds can also potentially replace traditional email list, reducing email overload. Next, we have podcast uh, or tagging or social bookmarking. It allows user to store, organize, search, manage, and share web page bookmarks. Uh, these bookmarks can be saved privately, made available to other internet users, or shared with friends and colleagues. These tags can be searched and browsed, allowing the information to be retrieved more easily. Bookmarks can be used in various ways, like creating a set of resources accessible on online computers, conduct research, and share and track author and look updates. So a tag is a keyword that is added to a digital object. So a tag is a keyword that is added to a digital object, as for example, a website, picture, or video clips to describe it, but not as a part of a formal classification system. One of the first large-scale application of tagging was seen with the introduction of Joshua Strecker's website, that is delicio.us, which launched the social bookmarking phenomenon. Social bookmarking systems share a number of common features. They allow users to create lists of bookmarks or favorites, to store these centrally on a remote server rather than within the client browser, and to share them with other users of the system. That is the social aspect. The concept of tagging has been widened far beyond website bookmarking, and services like Flickr's, YouTube, and audio, that is a podcast service, allow a variety of digital artifacts to be socially tagged. Then we see podcast. Podcast are audio recording, usually in MP3 format. Interviews, uh, lectures, and talks are usually prepared in podcast, which can be played either on a desktop computer or on a wide range of handheld MP3 devices. Originally called audio blog, they have their roots in efforts to add audio streams to early blogs. Once standard has settled down and Apple introduced the commercially successful iPod MP3 players and its associated iTunes software, the process started to become known as broadcasting. This term is not without some controversy, since it implies that only the Apple iPod will play these files, whereas in actual fact any MP3 players or PC personal computer with the requisite software can be used. A more recent development in the introduction of video podcast, sometimes shortened to vidcast or you say vodcast, the online delivery of video on demand clips that can be played on a personal computer or again on a suitable handheld pairs. The more recent version of Apple iPod, for example, provide for video playing. A podcast is made by creating an MP3 format audio files using a voice recorder or similar device, uploading the file to a host server, and then making the world aware of its existence through the use of RSS. So, podcast listeners subscribe to the RSS feeds and receive information about new podcasts as they become available. And distribution is relatively simple in case of podcast. Then we have instant messaging. MSN Messenger is one example. It is a form of real time communication between two or more people based on typed text. The text is conveyed via computer connected over internet. Instant messaging increases the sense of community and accessibility, which is required for collaborative learning. Then we have VoIP, that is Voice over Internet Protocol, can promote international collaborations and understanding. Calendars make calendar events, homework, and anything we want available on mobile devices connected to internet. uh, Internet telephony example is Skype. It is a form of real-time communication of audio between two or more people. It enables people to use internet as the transmission medium for phone calls. Then we have audio-visual conferencing, like Net Meeting, Google Meet. It's a form of real-time communication of audio and video between two or more people at different sites. Okay, so we see that in today's world, information and communication technologies are influenced in many different areas, and they have influenced different areas where people need more knowledge and better standards to accomplish their work um, especially in education, academic and library, geographic information systems, and even banking. Uh, Web 2.0 technologies have been used in education. Dimension of education have been changed as a result of technology's rapid development. Web 2.0 platforms like blog, wikis, RSS, tag-based taxonomies, social bookmarking, then media sharing, and social networking sites have been used in education. Even Web 2.0 technologies have been used in academic libraries. It is right now in a study stage, but it will be a reality soon. Web 2.0 technologies have been used in geographic information systems, that is GIS. Recent advances in geographic information system and Web 2.0 provide a way to create sophisticated web applications that strengthen social interaction based on comments on online maps, which have the potential to improve public participation in GIS practices. A key aspect in this is the interoperability between geospatial data and tools available on the internet to users wanting to build up their content. Then in banking, it refers to the use of internet as a remote delivery channel for providing services. Particular focus has been given to user created content, lightweight technology, service based access, and shared revenue models. Online service of web ATM architecture allows customer to make transfer between accounts, pay bills and taxes, and carry out other financial transactions through any of the banking or portal site with the services of web ATMs at any time of the day or night at any place. The power of www hasn't only changed the life of people but also changed modern business operations. Customers can be served and services can be provided right over the web. Then we see that with the advent of social networking site and Web 2.0 tools, spam and malware attacks via social networking sites are on the top. There has been a significant increase in the number of users involved in social sites, and that has opened door to new opportunities for knowledge exchange and socializing. Social networking has made the web friendlier and more connected, but more complex sites like Facebook, MySpace, Orkut, and LinkedIn and their likes have concocted a dangerous cocktail of user supplied content, open APIs, and web pages heavily loaded with JavaScripts and embedded media of all descriptions. We see social networks are subject to all standard vulnerabilities of the web. Then I would like to cite the difference between Web 1.0 and Web 2.0. I have taken two examples, Netscape, which is the standard bearer of Web 1.0, and Google is certainly the standard bearer of Web 2.0. Let's start with comparison of these two companies and their positioning. Netscape framed the web as platform in terms of old software's paradigm. Their flagship product was the web browser, a desktop application, and their strategy was to use their dominance in the browser market to establish a market for high-priced server products. Control over standard for displaying content and application in the browser would, in theory, give Netscape the kind of market power enjoyed by Microsoft in the PC personal computer market. Much like the horseless carriers framed the automobile as an extension of the familiar, Netscape promoted a webtop to replace the desktop and planned to populate the webtop with information updates and applets pushed to a webtop on information providers who would purchase Netscape servers. Google, by contrast, began its life as a native web applications, never sold or packaged but delivered as a service, with customers paying directly or indirectly for the use of these services. None of the trapping of the old software industry are present. There is no scheduled software release, just continuous improvement is there. There is no licensing or sell with Google, just users is there. At bottom, Google requires a competency that Netscape never needed. Google is not a collection of software tools, it's a specialized database. Without the data, tools are useless. Without the software, the data is unmanageable. Google service is not a server, though it is delivered by massive collection of internet servers, not a browser, though it is experienced by user within the browser. While both Netscape and Google could be described as software companies, it's clear that Netscape belonged to the same software world as Lotus, Microsoft, Oracle, and other companies that got their start in the 1980s software revolution, while Google's fellows are other internet applications like eBay, Amazon, Napsters, and Google, and even DoubleClick and Akamai. Then we see another differences between Akamai and BitTorrent. Akamai is a service that actually serves the benefit of the individuals at the edge of the web by smoothing their access to high demand sites at the center. It collects its revenue from those central sites. On the other hand, BitTorrent, like other pioneers in the peer-to-peer movement, that is P2P movement, takes a radical approach to internet decentralization. Every client is also a server. Files are broken up into fragments that can be served from multiple locations, transparently harnessing the network of downloaders to provide both bandwidth and data to other users. The more popular the file, in fact, the faster it can be served, as there are more users providing bandwidth and fragments of the complete file. BitTorrent thus demonstrated as a key Web 2.0 principle. The service automatically gets better the more people use it. And so we see that Web 2.0 is known as the incremental web or live web. Now, of course, dynamic websites like database hacked sites with dynamically generated content replaced static websites or web pages. Well, over 10 years ago, what's dynamic about the live web are not just the pages but links. A link to a web blog is expected to point to a perennially changing page with permalink for any individual entry and notification for each change. An RSS feed is thus much stronger link than, say, a bookmark or a link to a single page. Uh, we have already discussed about architecture of participation. One of the key lessons of Web 2.0 era is that users add value. Web 2.0 companies aggregates data and build values as a side effects of ordinary use of the application. as RSS also means that web browsers is not only the means of viewing a web page. While some RSS aggregators such as bloglines are web-based, others are desktop clients, and still others allow users of portable devices to subscribe to constantly updated content. RSS is now being used to push not just notices of new blog entries, but also all kinds of data updates, including stock codes, weather data, and photo availability, and so on. So we see that Web 2.0 technology opened the world to many people and facilitated communication and conversation. This can be threatening to governments that limit the speech of their citizens. Some governments like Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, then China have attempted to block their technologies with varying success. WikiLeaks, an international non-profit organization that publishes submission of private, secret, and classified media from anonymous news sources and news leaks. Some great examples of effects of Web 2.0 technology can be seen in Jasmine Revolution of Tunisia in December 2010. It was spread by Facebook initially, and Egyptian Youth Revolution, which is also spread by Twitter and Facebook in 2008. Thus, we see that the emergence of Web 2.0 has greatly changed the scenario of conventional approach of the communication process of our everyday lives. That is all for today. If you have any difficulty in understanding whatever I have delivered today, drop me a message in the WhatsApp group and it will be addressed in the live class. Thank you so much.